Hey my friends, it's good to see you again. My name is Selim.Digital, and this is my continuing story of how I am using the carnivore diet along with gymnastics training to get into the best shape of my life in my mid-30s while still juggling family life and a full-time job, just like everybody else. This is a new year and it's very exciting. I've committed myself to a lot of things, and I knew that when I made those commitments that I would feel like I'm not ready for them, and lo and behold, I am now at that point in the journey. I just got an email from the Asheville Marathon Association that I am 8 weeks away from my commitment. March 16th is my marathon, and that is 8 weeks from now, and I am definitely not ready. But that's okay, because I was not remotely ready when I did the New York City Marathon last year, and I am in better shape than I was last year. I think a big part of that is I really stepped up my commitment with the gymnastics. And I know you're thinking, well, just because you can do handstands doesn't mean that you can run a marathon, and that is true. But the work that I've been doing has been forcing me to develop core strength and greater strength in my hip flexors and in a lot of the other stabilizing muscles that I really didn't utilize very well, which now I have somewhat greater control over. And while there's not a one-to-one relationship, there's definitely going to be a kind of cross-training benefit here. As I prepare for this next challenge, I'm going to be training by running, but I'm also going to be continuing my gymnastics work. This past week had me really stacking all of my weight, or a good portion of my weight, onto my shoulders, which is really, really hard because obviously your shoulders, as we stand, don't tend to hold a lot of weight. If you ever do any kind of work like shoulder extensions, most people can't do more than 10 pounds because, well, we're not used to it. And it's not that they're not capable of it, because from an evolutionary standpoint, at one point, millions and millions of years ago, our shoulders were capable of holding our weight to swing through trees. You can see that today in some people who have developed that kind of strength where they are able to hold a significant amount of weight in their trapezius and in all of the other stabilizing muscles that assist them. These last 2 weeks has really been a big change in terms of how much weight I am able to stack through my shoulder muscles, through my trapezius, and through my core. So much fun to do. It's not fun to do while I'm doing it. I'm really scared most of the time. It's like, oh man, I am about to fall and break my neck because I am not strong enough. But it turns out I am strong enough, and the feeling afterwards is exhilarating. As far as training is going for the marathon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to have my gymnastics training sessions. I will have more sessions be a little bit more focused on legs and lower body to help strengthen and stretch out my leg muscles so that they can sustain and get stronger for the next 8 weeks. But I'll still continue to practice my handstands because, that's just fun. But I've really started to incorporate some running back into my routine. And the other reason why I'm slightly optimistic that I will do better than last time is because last time really all I did was just ran willy-nilly. I didn't make any kind of a plan. And this time I have a plan. I'm not saying it's a good plan, but I'd like to believe that having a mediocre plan is better than having none. So the plan for the next 8 weeks is I'll have a pace running day. And by that I mean here's the pace that I would like to be able to maintain for the majority of my marathon. I have very modest goals. I would like to finish the marathon in 6 hours, which means that I would need to finish, or I need to pace myself at about 4.37 miles per hour. So I will train at 4.4, 4.5 miles per hour once a week. And then every week just increase the amount of time that I can do at that pace. So every Monday I'll run at 4.5 miles an hour. So I did that last week and I was able to maintain that for an hour. And every week I will increase that bit by bit. And so that will help me get used to that pace, sort of have an intuitive sense of when I'm making that pace or not. And then I'll have a leg strengthening day where I'll do some squats and lunges and things like that. The idea really is to focus on creating and developing the muscular strength necessary to sustain the entire endeavor. And then I will do a recovery jog day, a very light, easy, not a lot of time, just to make sure that blood's flowing to the legs. Then I'll have a day off, and then on Saturday I will do my distance running. The purpose of the distance running is obviously to make sure that I get the miles under my feet, so that in the 8 weeks I will ramp it up until about week 6, which will be, at that point, if I can do 15 miles, give or take, I know that I'll be able to limp along if I have to in order to finish the rest of the miles, although I'm going to shoot for being able to get to, I think 18 miles is what I did last time. I will not be the best father and husband for the next 2 months, but that's okay, because then I can, make up for it later. The one thing I don't really have a clear idea on yet is how I will handle carbs for the running. The last time I ate carbs as I wanted, and honestly it was a lot of fun to be able to eat lots of carbs and not worry about it because I was running so much. I would like to do this carb-free, but honestly I don't know how I'll feel. I mean, I've heard some people say that you can get used to it and then you can lose a tremendous amount of weight because your body is simply burning the stored fat, but you need to get used to training in ketosis. And honestly, I don't know if I've given myself enough time to be able to do that successfully. This week, I got to celebrate my mom's 50th birthday, let's say, and we went out, we had an awesome dinner, and I was able to still eat carnivore during that time, and I had this awesome, absolutely stunning fish collar. If you've never had fish collar, you are missing out. Fish collar really is the cheek meat, and I guess, I don't know what you call this part, but it is really where the most delicious fat of the fish is, and it is absolutely succulent. I really think that the restaurants, when they put that on there, it's for the people in the know, because most people think fish collar, that sounds gross, I don't want to have that. But trust me on this, if you ever see fish collar on any menu, absolutely chow down on that. You will be very, very happy. I do have to admit that I was hungry this week as I'm transitioning back out of the bad diet and into pure carnivore, or carnivorish, I should say. So I was really hungry, and so I didn't have a good plan, so I went and got McDonald's. But I will say, McDonald's is surprisingly carnivore friendly. You can go up to their kiosk and you can order the quarter pounder and take off the bun, and they will serve you 2 or 3 hamburger patties with 2 or 3 slices of cheese, and it'll be about $10, and that is a perfectly good carnivore meal. I can have 2 patties and I can be very satisfied with that, and that really helped me get through that sort of hunger issue. While I'm not a big fan of fast food restaurants in general, I'm glad that that is an option for me if my brain is at that point where it's ready to justify making far worse choices. I would much rather have 2 or 3 McDonald's hamburger patties than have a bag of Doritos where I'm just like opening it up and trying to like take the Cheeto dust and bathe myself in it, which, I think I would at certain points in my life when I am really not at the point where I'm making the best decisions. All right, so I will keep you posted on how the running is going and how my progress is. I'm very excited. I'm also extremely nervous. But you know what? I think those two things should go hand in hand. You shouldn't be, if you're not a little bit nervous, then it's probably not that much of a challenge for you. Alrighty, I'll see you later. Take care.